Welcome to Dial In. My name is Lex Barrero, and today we're going to be dialing in to some of the watches in my personal collection. We're going to start with the rarest watch I have. That would be the Audemars Piguet Clover. There's only 28 in the world. This was an extremely hard watch to come by. It's a perpetual calendar with the moon face. And honestly, one of the coolest designs I have ever seen on a watch. The fact that it's generally a Clover, makes it really unique. It wears incredibly well, extremely thin. And definitely I would say this is the watch that when I wear, people in the watch world say, oh, you have a Clover. Because this is that one watch that they can't get. I mean, I've been in a lot of rooms, in a lot of watch shows, and I've never seen someone with this watch. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know about this watch until it came up for sale. My good friend Yanni from Material Good pointed it out to me and I had to get it. I mean, like, really hard watch to get. I've only worn it a couple times, but one of my favorite watches it wears really well. And again, look at that. Look at that beauty. Next on the list, the watch that gets the most compliments. That would have to be the Cartier Crash. Another super rare watch. Obviously, the case design is funky and different, so automatically it draws attention. It is a watch that has a lot of history. If you look around in watch books, a lot of times this is the watch on the cover of the books. It's a historic watch. Cartier were one of the first wristwatch designers in the world. The full history, I don't think no one truly knows, but it's a piece that's super rare. Again, it's a perfect dress watch, just perfect in size, and definitely gets the most comments. I think just people are in awe about, no matter the room I'm in, whether they're watch lovers or a room full of industry people or just at the supermarket. Not that I would wear this to the supermarket, but for a watch lover and a lover of design, this is the perfect watch. Again, the case design, what inspired this, it's artsy, it's art deco. It's just a masterpiece. And even being able to fit the movement into this shape, the way that the numbers on the dial are, used in the design to match the case. Perfect watch for someone like me. My most valuable watch in my whole collection would have to be this Rolex GMT two-tone. And I know what you're saying, it's not worth that much, or as much as the other watches I have, but this was my first watch. This watch I got when you can actually walk into a Mayer store and put a watch on payments. I used to pay $320 for this watch a month, which was really great when I had a job. Only problem is I lost my job a month after that. And so I found myself with a beautiful watch on my wrist and a Rolex and no way to pay for it. I worked multiple jobs doing all kinds of things, from selling shampoo in the streets, selling DirecTV door to door, just so that I can try to make the payments, which I didn't make for the first year. I didn't know at that time that they actually wouldn't come take it back, just that your credit got messed up. And so my credit got really messed up, but then I was able to pay the watch, which took me about 2.5 years to pay off. And so I'll always cherish this watch. I wore it in some of the most important times of my life as my career started, as I made the moves out of Miami into other cities to chase my dream. And this watch was always with me. I've changed the band. It usually comes in a steel and two-tone gold. I found it more used nowadays on a green band. It's what can I say about this watch? It's one that I'll never sell. It's a watch that I hope my daughter or my son wears and remembers the story of the hustle that their dad had to go through in order to give them all the beautiful things they have. So we can call this watch the bad credit because it definitely ruined my credit. I don't suggest you do that. And I just realized the band is green, like my daughter's name, Jade. So very, very meaningful watch. But definitely, I think my credit went down to like 400. Right? I couldn't even, buy a candy if I wanted to after that. But so when it comes to loving watches, price is not the only reason why you love it, or prestige. For me, it's about having a great piece of art. So my most affordable watch would have to be this Swatch, super thin. And I really love this watch, not only for the size and how thin it is, but because it's a true reflection of how much I love messing and creating with. This watch does not come with this metal band. It comes with an all clear band. And I spent the night after I bought it online, looking at the other Swatch watches, seeing if there was another band that could look better on the watch. Because I felt with the clear, it looked like, a kid's watch. And I actually found a model that had this and could work. So I went back to the store the very next day. I bought the other watch just so I can get the band, and here you have it. And this watch is amazing. I mean, super thin for traveling and everything. It's the perfect watch. Plus, it looks expensive. It looks like it's super complicated, and really is like, I don't know, maybe $150, but love this watch. The next watch in my collection is something I recently acquired on my recent trip to Kyoto, Japan. This trip was really special because my father always dreamed of going to Japan. He loves the culture. So at his 64 years of age, I got an opportunity to make his dream a reality. And I wanted to mark that day with something very special. So of course I had to buy a watch by a Japanese watch company. And what better company than Grand Seiko? This dial represents Lake Suwa. In the winter it freezes over, and the myth is that the gods use it to walk from one side to the other. And so the ridges on the dial represent these lines that it makes once the lake freezes over. And again, they say that the gods walk over. So once they told me that story, plus this beautiful blue dial, the way that Grand Seiko and their watchmakers are able to polish the case is probably the best in the business. And I just had to get it. You know, it will always be with me. It will always be part of my collection. It's a watch, honestly, that I will probably gift to my dad one day that he doesn't even realize it. Even though he doesn't love watches as much as I do, I think this watch is special to both of us. Next is the watch in my collection that is probably one of the best gifts someone has given me, but it also comes with a very, very funny story. This Rolex Daytona. So this watch was a gift from my mentor. He is one of the top music executives in the world. He used to run Sony and signed a lot of your favorite artists. But he's very much what you call a boss. And when he was gifting me this watch, he handed me a bag. Obviously, as soon as I opened the bag, I knew that it was a Rolex, because I recognized a Rolex box. And he patiently waited for my reaction. I laughed. His first reaction was like, "You don't like it?" And I thought he was playing a prank on me because the box was empty. I literally said, "You mother beep," thinking he was joking with me, until I realized his face turned red and he was extremely pissed off. The watch was not there, and the person who sold him the watch shipped him the box with no watch. So as you can imagine, being the boss that he is, he got on the phone, and I actually, because of that moment, I engraved the watch in the back. Loyalty and trust for me are everything. 7/18/21. So this is another watch I will never ever sell. It's a watch that signifies the relationship I have with him and how much he's done for my career and how much he's done for my life. He's really been a huge impact father figure in my life, especially during the times when he gave me this watch where COVID was going on and there was so much things going on. So very funny story to see him that pissed. Great story, amazing watch, and honestly, you can't go wrong with the Rolex Daytona. My next watch really talks about my other huge obsession. So growing up, I always loved Snoopy. I buy everything that has Snoopy on it. It's really bad, but I now have a daughter, so now I can actually hide it behind I'm buying it for her because I want her to have Snoopy things, but really I'm the guy wearing all the Snoopy. So this Timex, it's really an amazing watch because they figured out how to get the second hand to move as if it was floating in a tennis ball. The color is really fun. The fact that it has, you know, 80s style bubble glass on it, I think is awesome. And again, just a fun watch. It's my secret obsession with Snoopy that no one really knows about. So I wear this and I tell people how awesome the watch is, but really the inner kid in me is jumping around saying, yes, I'm wearing a Snoopy watch, 38 years old. So that's that watch. The next watch in my collection is the one I regret the most. And I'll tell you why. Honestly, it was not a watch I was looking for, but it was a moment in my career that really meant a lot for me. I wanted to commemorate it with something special. Again, a watch. And I didn't know what to get. So I walked into a Cartier store and I said, you know what, everybody's in the craze of buying tanks and they're so classy, and you know, Andy Warhol wore a tank and so on and so on and so on. And I spent a couple grand on this watch and I went all over the place to try to get it. And it was because we had just done something amazing with one of my clients. He had performed in a sold out stadium in Madrid, and we were flying and spending the summer in Europe. And I was like, you know, how amazing of an experience. Why don't we get a watch? And I got this watch and I've never worn it and I'm probably never going to wear it. It is an uncomfortable watch to wear. The band fits a little weird. It's a little, I don't know, just square. There's really nothing in the dial design. It's just black. I did get it engraved and it has the date of the show. But other than that, I'll never wear this watch, and so I'll probably gift it to someone one day so they can wear it and enjoy it, so it's not sitting in my collection. But definitely one of the ones that I was like, why did I buy this? And I knew it as soon as I got to the hotel room. I was like, damn it, I played myself. this is this watch. But I do love Cartier, so shout out to all my friends that work at Cartier that hook me up and take care of me when I do want a watch. So on that note, comment below if you've ever bought a watch you regret buying. I want to know what you regret buying, so I can also save myself the stress of maybe buying that watch that you regret and why you regretted it. So tell me your stories, and I can't wait to read them all. So for those of you that don't know, my day job is not being a watch collector or a watch dealer. I am a media executive, music producer, spend my whole life working with some of the biggest artists in the world. But one in particular is really close to my heart, and that's my partner and friend Tiny. Together, we created a company called Neon 16, which revolutionized Latin music. Tiny did an album called Data, which Rolling Stone named the #1 album of the year. And a fan made this watch for me, knowing I love G-Shock and knowing how much I love the album Data, and the case Cena, this character, this anime character that Tiny created to be the symbol of the album. It has the cables connected, it has his name, it has the name of our company, it lights up and it says Cena Tiny in it. Amazing gift. The fact that they were able to customize this and print on it all the different logos of the album, the cables, the case color is amazing too. They also were able to engrave the back. So incredible watch that brings me back to my childhood, and also meaningful because this album was really one of the biggest albums and the best albums in Latin music history. We got our first Grammy nomination with this album, and it's one I'll hold forever, and I think we'll go in a museum one day. So to wrap up, we'll look at two very special watches. The first one is my AP Perpetual Calendar Skeleton. This is the watch I saw all of my heroes, and by that I mean Pharrell and Kanye, wear at the height of their career. So there was multiple magazine covers I had in my room that had them with this watch on. For me, this is a watch I'll never sell. This is a watch that reminds me that I made it. And again, beautiful dial, the skeleton, you can see the movement through it. Just an amazing watch. It needs a little bit of cleaning, but I'll get to that at some point. My FP Journe, this is probably the most wearable watch. It's a quartz movement that resets itself every time that you pick up the watch. It'll go back to the time you had it once you put it down. The design is beautiful, it's super thin. And FP Journe is considered one of the best watchmakers of our generation. It's insane how FP Journe has blown up, so I'm glad I was able to get a piece before it became almost impossible to get one. Plus it has orange. Orange is the color of our company, so I always wear this to our company parties and anything that I have to go represent for Neon. And last but not least of the collection I'm showing today is my Daytona. This watch is also special. I bought it in my first trip to Turks and Caicos, which has now become one of my favorite places in the world. Meteorite, they don't make these as much anymore because there's no more Meteorite left that Rolex could buy. So they've become really, really rare. Again, rose gold, one of my favorite precious metals. And I just love a great dial, rubber band, and you can dress it up or you can wear it out how I am today with some jeans and some khakis, and it'll do its job. So that is some of my amazing collection and some incredible stories.
We have one more feature watch.
The Apple Watch?
The Apple Watch. What can you say about this watch?
So my assistant just decided that he wanted to bring my Apple Watch to, I don't know for what reason. It's obviously dead. I don't wear it a lot. I do wear it when I go skiing. Or when I go to the gym, because I want to know how many calories I'm burning, because you should know how many calories you're burning so you're not wasting your time at the gym. But other than that, it's pretty dead all the time. Again, another expression of my youth, the military band. Definitely not a watch I would include in my watch collection every day, but very useful. If those of you that have an Apple Watch, regardless of where you are in your collection, the great thing about collecting watches, you're wearing a piece of art in your wrist. So it doesn't matter if it's a $200 watch, a $50 watch, or a $200,000 watch. Just buy what you love. Buy what speaks to you. Buy what makes you happy every time you look down. It's okay to aspire to have amazing watches. There's watches we all want that maybe can't afford or can't find. And that's really the hunt and the excitement of looking and continuing to dream. But I think there's nothing better than wearing a watch that makes you smile, a watch that represents who you are, and that you have something to talk about, because watches are conversational. They should bring you joy, not stress. I say this over and over, do not buy them as investments. That is probably the wrong way to approach buying watches, because you're gonna lose on your ass. So just buy it because you love it. Buy things that speak to you and have fun with it. Customize it, paint it, you know, change the bands. That's all part of it. I enjoy the process of sitting there with my little tool changing the band. That's what makes it fun and exciting for me as a hobby. If you're a watch lover and you want to be dialed in, make sure to subscribe and like and share with all your friends and join me on this journey of watch collecting. Here at Dial In, my main goal is to just build community with you. Share my journey of collecting watches, share my time spent finding some of these masterpieces and the joy I get out of sharing them with you. So make sure you join our community, subscribe and like, and I'll see you on the next one.